We apologize for this brief interruption in the show. As many of you likely know, the Higher Standard podcast is officially sponsored by Transcend Company. Transcend has been my longtime provider for both testosterone and peptide therapies, but they offer so much more. Whether you're interested in health, wellness, or longevity, it all begins with you getting your blood work done. A lab draw will help you get the numbers and establish your baseline. You can go to transcendcompany.com/THSP. That's transcendcompany.com/THSP. Or you can click the link in the show notes on any streaming platform and on YouTube. Fill out your information, and one of the representatives will contact you to get your journey started today. Now back to the show.
Are we going to pay homage to the old space?
Yeah, we'll place cockroaches around that space like we do in this space. Jesus.
Take a picture of it.
No, I'm not doing that.
No?
I'm not lowering myself to accepting the standard of podcasting.
This isn't the lower standard.
No.
This is the higher standard.
So for those of you listening and going, what the hell? Before we get off to the start today, we have to admit that we have a bit of a insect problem here.
I don't want to call it an insect. Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, we found a cockroach in the studio. And it was a big-ass cockroach-looking cockroach.
It's time to move.
That's it. We're done here.
Yeah. I don't need to see anything else.
I don't feel comfortable using any of this shit now.
Yeah. How long has it been in here?
I don't know. It's
Right.
just dead on the floor.
Ugh.
You didn't feed the cockroaches, bro.
Yeah, exactly. Welcome back to the show, everybody. It's nice to have everybody back. Miss you. It's been longer than a week since our last recording.
It's been a week and one day.
No. Yes. You're right. You're right. So with some of the data that we'll be getting into later in the show, and with where mortgage rates are currently sitting today, I believe I saw them. There was at around 6.1, 6.2%. So
yeah,
it's starting to come down a little bit. Signs are pointing to possibly lower rates in the future. So we thought it would be fitting to have a discussion about what kind of questions you could be asking your real estate agent, whether that's investing or you're getting ready to buy your first home because you've been sitting on the sidelines. We actually had a question come in. Hopefully he doesn't care that I'm shouting out his name. Marcelo, shout out to you. I know he's been a long-time listener. He always comments.
We constantly chat in the DMs.
Yeah, likes stuff. He came up with a question. What are some questions to ask a real estate agent if you're a newbie to investing? Starting on bigger pockets and finding an agent who invests himself is what I did first. But what kind of questions should you ask to really see if they have your best interest in mind? Right now, I have demographics, selling prices, average rents, crime rates, school areas, historical property appreciation. So a lot of these things that we'll get into. But do you got anything that you want to start off with off the top of your head?
Yeah. So I typically get these messages, and I always wonder if somebody's trolling me because I have a very hard line kind of perspective on this stuff.
Interesting. I want to hear it.
And I get that this is not going to be something that everybody agrees with. And there are real estate agents and realtors who listen to the show who are probably going to disagree with what I'm about to say. And I don't want to offend anybody, so I'm just giving you baby ears now, okay? Put your earmuffs on.
If you can't handle it.
Yeah, whatever you got to do now not to be offended. Look, I like real estate as a profession. I like investing in it as a personal hobby, as a way to grow my personal net worth. I have learned a tremendous amount over the years. The fact that you're asking that question is a good question, but we always talk about how you can financially build yourself up on this show, how you can make a lot of money. We talk a lot about having a 5 p.m. to 9 a.m. job. The fact that you're asking this question means that you want someone to have your best interest at heart.
Who has your best interest in mind?
Nobody better than you.
Yep.
You should go and get a real estate license. But Chris, I don't have the time. I just got off a plane from Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
I have slept 3 hours in 2 days. And I am in a podcast studio with you guys. And even I have found time to play fuck around and find out.
You're welcome.
In that time.
Mm-hmm.
Doing some stuff on the internet. Okay?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying it to be facetious. I'm saying it that we all can manufacture time when and where we need to.
Right.
Believe it or not, a real estate salesperson's license is not super hard to obtain. As we already know on the show, they do not even require them to take an economics course. Real estate appraisal, real estate finance, real estate principles.
Yes.
All of these things will answer your question. What should a real estate agent know so that I can pick the right real estate agent? The right real estate agent is you, bro.
Right. And unfortunately, I think what he's really asking for is, somebody with expertise within a certain market or neighborhood. And you're not going to get that unless you can specifically target somebody like that. Right.
Well, so here's my problem. Okay. Right now, for you to put the time in to find that person and really find somebody that you trust, if this is the way you're feeling, because you obviously don't have somebody right now that you know.
Okay.
To me, that signals you're going to have to put the time in to find somebody. You might as well put the time in to be that somebody. And let me tell you the benefits to you, besides just, number one, understanding real estate and understanding the market. You can use your commission back as part of your down payment when you buy a property. I have done this on every property I have bought for myself and for others since I got my real estate license.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're putting 3% down, well, 2% of that can come from your commission as a licensed real estate agent. It depends on your split with your real estate broker, which you can look to obtain after you get a real estate license. But that's my answer.
But explain that to people, because if we're going out and telling people that you should go get out your own real estate license, they need to understand that it needs to be hung under a real estate broker license.
In most states around the country, you need to have your real estate salesperson's license underneath a broker of records license. And the broker is the one who's supposed to be more sophisticated, more complex, has more experience, has more education, and they have a fiduciary responsibility to ensure that you as a salesperson are acting in accordance with the rules and regulations and the DRE requirements.
So would that usually come at a fee?
Yes. Unfortunately, your broker is going to take a little bit of the juice.
Yeah.
A little bit of the fee.
Yeah.
Usually they take either a set fee. There's tons of broker relationships across the country. That there's different types of it, and they always kind of vary as to which one's the du jour sexiest one of them all. Several years ago, it was Keller Williams, and it moved on to different types. And there was that one online one. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but there's been all sorts of different variants of this over the years. It doesn't really matter.
Compass?
Compass is, they were more of a tech-driven, quote, fintech spin, but they were really the exact same thing, just disguised as fintech. And all the fancy technology stuff they said they were going to do, they never really did.
Yeah.
It's just kind of funny. That being said, I think that's my priority one answer. Now, if you want me to answer the question in good faith and tell you what to look for, I have met with a lot of real estate agents over the years, and I can tell you the types of real estate agents that I've seen.
Oh, let's hear them.
You know one very well. When we purchased your home, we dealt with the old school, I've been in the market for 45,000 years.
I've never seen it handled this way before.
This is just unnerving.
Yeah.
But she knew every damn property that had sold in the last 20 years on those streets, had been involved. She was hyper neurotic.
She knew that neighborhood very well. She knew which small street had HOA, which one didn't.
She knew the floor plans. She knew everything about the neighborhood. Now, she's not going to be tech savvy. She's not going to give a shit about your thoughts about her professionalism.
Right.
She's going to be very old school.
Right.
Right? And she's going to expect you to want to do business with her because, number one, she has a relationship which connected you to her. You didn't just cold call her. Somebody introduced you to her.
Right.
Right? And number two, she's going to say, no one you know has been in this market as long as me.
Right. So I believe with these real estate agents, and based on the ones that I've seen, I haven't had a lot of encounters. So please chime in and correct me when I'm wrong. Okay. If I'm wrong. Yeah. But I feel as though when you begin to ask them any basic general question, right? The ones that are experienced are going to want to showcase to you with their answers how experienced they are.
Some do. Some have like a bit of an ego thing. But to your point, the real estate purchase process for most Americans is going to be an educational process. You should be picking somebody that you feel comfortable enough to mentor you and guide you through the process and teach you along the way. It's not enough that this person handles the transaction.
Right.
They need to be able to teach you about the transaction. So if you do what Marcelo does here and quiz somebody on demographics, selling prices and average rents and crime rates and all these fancy things, you're missing 50% of the process. You need someone who's going to be a fiduciary and who's capable and willing to teach you about the things. You're going to get a property inspection report. If you have a good realtor, they're going to require that you do this. Realtor, I always say realtor. And when you get a property inspection report, you can get a report back and not know a damn. You can be like, what the hell does this mean? A good realtor will, number one, know what some of these things mean, And number two, if they don't, we'll work with you to connect you with the property inspector so that you have a good understanding of what some of the things found in this report means.
And especially if you have a good realtor,
Yeah.
right, that provides you one of these reports. I mean, they very much, and they know, if they know that neighborhood well enough, some of the other comparables that show up on this report may likely end up as the comps on the appraisal that you'll be getting, right? If they know the area well enough, right?
Yeah, I think that's a huge part. Well, they should.
They should.
Right?
Yeah.
Whether or not that means somebody's a good realtor or not doesn't necessarily, in my mind, unilaterally exclude somebody.
Right, but that's what can separate somebody from one neighborhood versus another, right?
Yeah, but so let's take a high level 30,000-foot elevation approach. And this is kind of unorthodox, but hear me out. For most people who haven't bought a piece of real estate, this transaction has got a bit of stigma to it. So let's get rid of the stigma. Let's make this really hyper simple. So anybody who wants to buy a piece of real estate or hasn't bought one or wants to understand the process, we're going to break it down to its just grassroots, simple understanding right now.
And what they can expect.
Yeah, okay. You want to buy a home,
Yep.
right? You hire a realtor.
Mm-hmm.
You find somebody that you believe, that you think you trust, usually a reference from somebody that you know that says, hey, I worked with this person, they're spectacular, use them.
And you spoke to them and maybe you see that you have some chemistry with them. Right?
Yeah, you pick this person.
Yeah.
Okay. Then what are you going to do, right? They're going to say, Haroon, what are you doing here? What are you telling me?
Just letting people know about episode 227.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
Yeah, he's referencing on a previous episode that we did that goes into how to begin investing in real estate.
Yeah, so check out episode 227. We'll link it here.
Yeah,
there you
exactly.
Go.
Right.
And for those of you driving and you can't see
Over
this,
there.
we're linking it here that you can go back to the YouTube channel later on and watch twice.
Yeah, there you go.
You're welcome.
Mm-hmm.
So number one, you're going to find a realtor. Okay, then you're going to sign a listing agreement or exclusive. If you're listing your property for sale, or you're going to sign a agreement to go and look at properties, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're going to want exclusivity. In that agreement, they're going to say if you buy a property without them during this period of time, they still get the commission.
Yes.
That's probably the biggest surprise to most people.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of that, they're going to say, hey, are you approved for a loan? You're going to say, oh, yes, I am, or oh, no, I'm not. And they're going to say, well, you need to get a pre-approval from your lender, and if you don't have one, they'll recommend one. So now you got a realtor, you got pre-approval from your lender, and that pre-approval tells you how much of a loan you qualify for based on how much you think you can pay every single month, right? Now you have those two pieces of information, guess what? You're going to go look at properties.
Yeah, but given the recent National Association of Realtors settlement, you're also going to sign an agreement for what you're going to pay this agent to now.
Yes, which will be handled outside of the multiple listing system, which is a bit of a nuance. It's kind of changing and evolving for right now. So let's not go down that rabbit hole because there's a lot there.
Yeah.
That being said, you're going to go down this path, okay? Now you're going to find a property that you want to put an offer in. You put an offer in, they might counter offer, they might whatever. But eventually you'll come to terms on an agreement and you'll be in escrow. They'll open up an escrow to purchase this property. Escrow's sole job is to coordinate you putting your money in to buy it and them giving you a clean title in return and ensuring that both people get what they want at the same time.
And both people are acting in good faith the whole time.
Yeah, and escrow is just a neutral, independent third party whose sole job it is to make sure that handoff happens frictionless for you. Okay? You're going to have title opened up as well. They're going to go up and down the chain of history to when that property was originally built all the way back to today to make sure that nobody else in the history of that property did something they shouldn't do, whether that's they gave away a piece of the land or maybe they sold it to somebody else. Now they're selling it to you again and they don't really own the land. Somebody else owns the land.
Or there's maybe a portion of your driveway that you now have to share with the person that's living adjacent to you.
Also known as an easement. So escrow is going to coordinate with title to ensure that you get clean title and a title policy, which is an insurance policy to guarantee that you, Saied Omar, are the bona fide true owner of that property at close of escrow.
I like that word, bona fide.
Bona fide.
Bona fide.
It makes you feel like we're in, some kind of cowboy western.
Yeah.
You're a bona fide boy.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's really it. There's not a whole lot to it. You're going to have some property inspections and an appraisal along the way. If you don't know what those are, we can go into it in the episode 227 that we talked about. But that's really that's a real estate transaction right there.
Mm-hmm.
So, but when you get down to it, you're going to use the escrow and title company that one of the two realtors that's in the transaction wants to use.
Okay.
And then it's going to be somewhat frictionless for you. You're usually going to use a property inspection company that one of them recommends. Okay. Again, not a whole lot of thought process that goes into you. So really, you're entrusting this entire process to your realtor.
Right. So now let's take it a step back. Now let's say we're dealing with an individual that already has 2 or 3 jobs, okay, and they're not going to get their real estate license on their own. Okay.
All right.
What are some questions that you might consider asking them? Something that I would consider asking them right off the top, right? Is this a full-time gig for you or is this a part-time gig?
I don't care about that.
You don't? Because for me, I was like, I want to know are you going to be answering my calls at noon? Or are you not going to be answering? You know what I mean?
I know plenty of fully employed realtors that don't answer their calls.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine. Okay, but then I'll follow it up with, like, what can I expect as far as response times? I also don't want to – I understand I'm not your only client, right? So I want to be respectful for that too.
Yeah, I hear that. But in my mind, that's not as important to me as their performance history historically. How many transactions they close? And I don't think you need to ask.
You can look that up, right?
You can look it up. You can go to Zillow. You can type their name in. You can see all the transactions. Now, Zillow isn't like a unilateral all-time accurate number, but it'll generally give you somebody's activity level, right? I think that's a good place to start. See how many transactions they've closed in your area. But we all kind of know the real estate agents in our area that farm our areas. You see their marketing material. Pimp slapped on your doorway and in your mail and in front of you at the grocery store, everywhere you go. Mm-hmm. You can't get around some of these assholes' faces. You're like, God damn it, there's Timmy the realtor's face again. And you don't want to see it.
Yep.
But you see it. Mm-hmm. That's generally the best person in your area, dude.
Yeah.
Sucks to say it.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't help the mom and pop little guy get in the door. But sometimes somebody owns that much market share because they own that much market share.
The same lady keeps coming like once a quarter and leaving her flyers on my door. Like,
Yeah,
if you want to sell it, I'm here.
Tenacity, man.
Yeah.
And there's a lot to be said for that level of tenacity.
Yeah.
You still need to be comfortable with them, but let me be honest with you, okay?
She hangs her license under Berkshire Hathaway, and I'm like, fuck you, Warren. Leave
Yeah,
me alone.
Warren Buffett out here just take, bro, he has moved to massive cash piles, and he's still doing it.
Yeah.
Liquidated some B of A last week.
Not some. Some is an understatement. Yeah.
He liquidated a lot. He is sitting on a huge cash reserve. And I remember when we talked about this a year ago.
People are like, he always does that, man.
He always was cash, man. You don't understand, man. You don't understand. No, you're all right. We don't understand. We just host a podcast on financial literacy. We talk about this shit pretty much every single week, do shared notes, do a ton of research. But you tell me, Internet. Yeah, you tell me why I'm wrong.
Literally holding more cash probably than he's ever had.
The fuck out of here.
Yeah.
How you doing? Hey.
All right.
Feeling a little spicy. Yeah. Apologize.
I could tell.
I feel like we've beaten this question up.
You came back from Dallas and you're like, you're ready.
Yeah.
You want all the smoke.
I want all the smokes. Well,
I saw you out there in Dallas having some Nobu.
That's actually attached to the hotel.
Don't. See, now you're trying to justify.
You want to get into Dallas?
What you just tried to do right there is like, I didn't go out of my way. It was attached to the hotel. I had to. It was right there.
You know, when you stay in upscale, brother, you know, you ain't got to go no far. You know.
So had 2 stories in this hotel room.
Oh, you saw that too, huh? In my defense, I did not pay for that.
Yeah.
So let's get into that in a minute. Welcome back to the #1 financial literacy podcast in the world. Sitting next to me is my sassy partner in time, the one and only Saied Omar, everybody.
Thank you, my man. Sitting next to me on my left is my partner in crime, Chris Nahibi. Welcome back to the show, everybody.
Yes. Yes. And behind the ones and twos, the man, the myth, the legend, the man who has now made not 1, but 2 appearances in a row with no PTO.
Back to back, baby.
We are now close to a record. DJ Haroon, everybody.
Yo, yo, yo.
It's like NBA Jam. Remember, he's heating up 2 in a row.
So, Haroon, I want you to know that in the car ride back to the airport, we have a driver, and she was driving us back to the airport. And I told her about the podcast several trips ago, like maybe a year ago or something like that. Mm. And one of her favorite things about the show is Haroon's can pop.
Oh, and he doesn't do it anymore because, he pops it in the car on the way over now. He's like, I don't want to. He gets too hyped, and then he can't go to sleep at night.
Oh, so you pre-caffeine.
Yeah.
I can't do it during the show. If I do it during the show, I'm up till 2.
Oh, that's sad. But really sad for your work product if you're up till 2 and you're not editing the show.
Yeah, what are you doing until then?
What have you been doing?
He gets
eating.
No, it's not. He's still on he plays the he's on the games.
On the games, the video games. How old are you, bro?
Yeah. He goes on what is it called? What is it called when you play with other people?
It's the Game Boy.
Yeah, he's on the Twitch.
he's streaming the Twitches.
Yeah. Dude, Haroon streaming, I'd pay to watch that.
No, bro.
I would not pay to watch that.
Because there's some not safe for work content on there.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of not safe for work, I got a whole story about that. You know what? Let's get into the Dallas trip. So I had to go to Dallas, and I want to make it quick, right? Because I had some things to get back to. I've got a deposition I got to be in tomorrow. So I left for Dallas Friday, early afternoon. Not Friday, Wednesday early afternoon. Was in Dallas for dinner that night with some people, and then at Nobu. I get to the hotel, and we have a beautiful hotel setup because it's literally right across the courtyard. Like I could walk maybe 20 steps to the office from the hotel. And the hotel's Crescent Court. It's beautiful.
Wow. I
get there, and this lovely lady upgrades my room to this 2-story suite. I'm only there for one night.
Just cause?
I think it's because the last time I stayed there, so this is the same hotel that all the NBA players, whenever they're in town, they stay at.
Oh, I see. When they play the Dallas Mavericks.
Yeah. So the last time I was there,
the Mavericks that get overpaid to play basketball.
Yeah, exactly. Those guys.
Those guys.
Actually, we have to have a conversation. Dave Mitsucci, who we work with, he brought up a whole valid point about LeBron that I need to bring to your doorstep.
Oh, here we go.
So we'll do that in the pop culture section.
Okay.
But, for those of you who want to see Saied get real pissed off and upset about being a hypocrite, that'll be at the end of the show.
Okay.
So last time I was there, all these NBA players were making a ton of noise, going up in the hallway, and I couldn't sleep. And I never sleep well in this hotel anyway. I think they noted it down and wanted to hook me up this time. So to get to my room, you had to go top floor of the hotel. There's another elevator, and that elevator takes you up 2 more floors to a different wing space. And then I had this 2-level massive ass hotel room, and the bed was suspended on the 2nd floor, but nothing around it. You have to take a bridge to it. It was weird. But I was all in. All right, cool. I get in. I was only there for a couple minutes, and then I changed, going on to Nobu.
Right.
But as I was getting the hotel room key, and she was telling me all this, the guy next to me came downstairs, and he was really upset that he couldn't get on his favorite porn sites.
Openly talking about it?
Openly talking about it. He's like, I can't get, something's wrong with your internet. I can't get on my favorite websites. And the guy, eventually got out of him. He's like, I can't get on YouPorn or Pornhub or whatever the hell he's talking about. And the guy was like, sir, there's been a law passed in Texas, and you can't access those sites legally in the state of Texas anymore.
Oh, really?
So I don't know the legalities here, but he was really upset about it. And I'm like, damn, bro.
Yeah, it's come to
how bad do you need porn?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I swear, you should have told him there's a really good porn page on YouTube. It's called The Higher Standard. Go check it out.
Just be prepared to get moist.
Yeah.
Saied will give you the goody good.
Yeah, the goody good.
In any event, so yeah, it was a nice hotel, and there's a Nobu downstairs, and we had dinner there, and it actually worked out really well. So I could go to the gym afterward, get a little bit of cardio in.
Nice.
And then I had to get up super early next morning because I had to be in Plano, come back, bunch of meetings, and then back to come back here.
Nice.
Be with you, lovely, fine gentlemen, and then depositions tomorrow.
Damn, good for you, man.
Yeah, it's good. The hotel has a industrial OG cold plunge. Bro, it was 38 degrees, and because they swirl the water, you can't get this heat layer around you. It was bone-chilling cold.
You don't even get that low at home, right? Because you're in the 40s?
I typically go mid-40s, mid-high 40s.
So that's a whole different experience.
Dude, it was bone-chilling. I got in, I could literally feel my bones saying, fuck you.
Yeah.
I mean, it was bad.
So what do we got for today's topics? I know we had some data that come out that solidified some things for us next week.
Yeah. So, look, we all know that there is an overwhelming probability of a rate cut. We've talked about this on previous shows at next week's FOMC meeting. The meeting is going to be pivotal for economic policy. And there was a lot of things that could have come up between the last Fed meeting and this Fed meeting to really change that. Because the Fed, as you all know, has always been data dependent.
At least that's what they said.
That's what they said. Well, the data has come out, and 2 middle fingers up.
So we're doing this, baby.
Yeah, this is gonna happen. People, you better watch yourself.
Yeah, we're not gonna hit your target.
No,
but we're gonna force you to do this.
So we're gonna go down a path of some of the data that's come out, and then we'll give you some thoughts to think about. Now, I want to just pause here and say, don't get your panties all moist. Mortgage rates, those are about as low as they're gonna get.
Really?
They're not gonna get much lower.
No, for September. But you don't think? Because the projections are still, the market is saying that they're going to cut again in November and again in December.
I think most of the rate cuts for this year are baked in to mortgage rates.
Okay.
I think the bond market's starting to settle a little bit. But my humble opinion, there's lots of opinions.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, if it's at 6.1% now, I mean, how much lower do you think? I mean, at best.
People forget 8% is average, dude. 8%, 7 to 8% is average historical mortgage rates.
Right, and you get and what people also have to remember is like that's not the only variable in the formula. that needs to be corrected in order for affordability to get solved.
Oh, and we're going to get into that, too.
Yeah.
Look at you doing your
You
research.
see what I'm doing?
So cute when you research.
Yeah.
Haroon, you want to give him a little clap?
He didn't memorize the buttons.
No, I meant like a real clap.
Oh.
Oh, no, he's the drummer.
That's the wrong one.
No, that's the right one. It's okay. It's karma. All right. So inflation falls to 2.5% year over year. Its lowest since February of 2021, according to Yahoo Finance. A closely watched report on U.S. inflation showed consumer price increases ticked lower during the month of August on an annual basis, according to the latest data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Released Wednesday morning. Every time I read the Bureau of Labor Statistics, I want to say the Bureau of Bullshit.
Yeah, exactly.
I have to fight it.
More on that.
The consumer price CPI index increased 2.5% over the prior year in August, which was a deceleration compared to July's 2.9% annual gain in prices. The yearly increase was also in line with economist expectations. Lots of comments there. Anyway, on a core basis, which strips out the more volatile cost of food and gas, energy, right? You saw similar changes, and the index rose 0.2% over the previous month, matching both July's monthly increase and what economists had expected. So all of this to say, inflation is doing what everybody thought it was going to do in continuing to decelerate.
Yes.
Okay, it's not going negative, so it's not dropping down negative, but it is slowing down in and around the cadence of where you want to be. So think about it this way. If you're going out with a girl to dinner, right, and you want to try to seduce her, okay? Or in, Haroon's case, if you're going out with a guy to dinner and you're trying to seduce him, we're all open here. It's all good.
It's all gravy on this side.
Whoever you're trying to seduce.
Right.
Whatever you're trying to seduce.
Everybody needs to be seduced.
What are the tips?
What?
Share the tips.
Yeah, if you guys want to swashbuckle, that's fine.
What?
What?
What did he just say?
Swashbuckle.
What's that?
Sword fighting.
Oh, sword fighting? Oh.
But in the future.
But in the field.
In any event, if you want to, and you're going the path that's going to get to a romantic hot point. Okay. These are all the signs you want to see. You want to see the partner that you're trying to seduce flirting back with you. You want to see them having a cocktail or two and relaxing or getting comfortable. Mm-hmm. You want to see that person excited to go back to your place or their place or some place that has a place where you can do things in a place, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
These are all the signs the FOMC is getting. And they are going to get fucked.
They absolutely are, because there's a lot of problems with the data, which we've cited on previous episodes from the Bureau of Bullshit, right? BLS. Last Friday, jobs report also came out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. They added 142,000 jobs. The expectations were around 160. Here's the problem with that. They haven't really announced what adjustments they've made to correct for some of the issues. Remember, not too long ago, they said, oops, we overestimated how many jobs were added in the last 12 months by 818,000 jobs.
Just a little over rounding. That's
right. Just a little over rounding, right? And in addition to that, this last jobs report that came out and said, oh, and by the way, in the last 2 months that we've reported, we overestimated by 86,000 jobs.
Just a little over rounding.
So here's the problem that the Fed has, okay? And this is the reason why it's guaranteed that there's going to be a rate cut and more rate cuts to come. You got inflation now heading down to 2.5%. The only reason why it hasn't hit the Fed's target of 2% is because of shelter.
Yeah.
Right? Shelter's the only thing that's really keeping it up. I believe
we're going to get into that in a little bit here.
Yeah, we are. So, and just a little preview, shelter came in at 5.2% of this CPI report. Okay?
Haroon, scroll on the next article while I was doing this. So that'll actually rope it in right now.
Okay? So you got inflation coming down, but you have the labor market, meaning, jobs and unemployment, that's weakening. Okay? Here's the problem that the Fed is facing. They understand that the data that they've been relying on isn't as strong as they had thought and as much as they had hoped for. So if it's a very, a tricky game that they have to play with, because if you cut by too much, too soon, you have a reacceleration of inflation all over again, and they have to stick to their dual mandate, right, of stabilizing prices, and they're going to have a double dip, right? Now,
it sounds so sexy when you say
it. So
double dip.
But if they go gradual, right? Think of it this way. companies and corporations across the nation. Okay, they're literally holding on. There's so many companies that are just barely making it by.
Mm-hmm.
If they believe that the Fed is going to do a slow, gradual process, then they're going to have to seriously look at, okay, if they're only going to do 25 basis points and then pause, or they can do 25, is that enough for us to turn these earnings around? Or are we going to have to really start focusing on, laying off some people here? Because so far, many of the layoffs that we had been seeing have been from companies that are interest rate sensitive, right? So we always said the pain has yet to come for a majority of the people, even though there has been some pain out there.
I still think we've got a very difficult financial time in the future.
Absolutely.
And I think it's going to be a visible and palpable recessionary economy. Auto insurance, 16.5%.
The highest, right? Yeah.
Was the highest contribution to inflation. I have seen my auto insurance go up dramatically. And I rarely notice things like this. I probably should pay more attention. And I noticed it instantly. Rent, housing, the second and third highest contributors at 5%, 4.4%.
Mm-hmm.
We know that that's a drag on inflation as a whole.
Right.
There is a visual representation of it. Restaurant meals. I mean, we all have to rent. We all have to eat.
Yeah. So
okay.
You're not going out, right?
We're all required to have auto insurance.
Yeah. And so exactly. And then the thing that has come down the most, used vehicles. So personal story here for me, really sucked for me recently when I had to sell the Jeep.
Yeah.
I didn't get top dollar on my Jeep. So you see the wide disparity. And so when I go to sell my car, I've sold a bunch of cars before in the past. You always go to Kelley Blue Book, right?
Mm-hmm.
Kelley Blue Book valued the Jeep at $27,000.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, $27,000, and it was clean. And when I got the Carfax on it, it said I was technically under the lower mileage usage, right? Based on it was less than 15,000 a year. Well, it's because of during that time in COVID where everybody stayed home. I didn't have to drive, right, for a couple of years. Okay, so it said $27,000, right? I go to CarMax to sell it, 17 tops. That's it.
Why?
That's what the used car market was at. So I'm like, wait, what? So the values are off. So Carfax is telling me one thing, right? Kelley Blue Book is telling me one thing, and then CarMax is 17.
Yo, this is gonna hurt your. What year was yours?
2018.
It's gonna really bother you, dog.
I know how much you sold yours for. No, but yours deserved to be more because you had so much.
They didn't give me any value for that. That was just values.
I couldn't believe that. Yeah. So for everyone out there,
I sold mine for 16.5.
16.5. Yours was 2 years older than mine. 2016.
Yeah, was it? I believe it was 2015.
No, it was 2016.
You were with me when I bought it.
I remember it was 2016. So that's the thing. Another thing to keep in mind, any upgrades you do to your car. So I had bigger tires on it. I had running boards on it.
They don't give you that shit.
Yeah, I had a lift on it.
You get nothing for it.
And mine was out of the dealership. I bought that straight out of the dealership. So there's all the warranties were still in place. If anything went wrong with it, because I bought extended warranty, right? I'm like, dude, they didn't give me no credit for any of that.
Nope.
Yep. So luckily, I sold it and we got an electric car. So because my wife also commutes, I was able to get the Volkswagen dealership to up it to 20.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
that's not better.
Yeah, a little bit better.
So I guess my point with the whole inflation thing that I want to drive home is we all pay auto insurance, 16.5% up. We all pay rent or housing, somewhere between 4.4 and 5% up, right? You might not have purchased a home recently, but let's be honest, these costs are increasing and incremental costs around housing is increasing. We all eat out at restaurants, 4% up. Education, medical care, personal care, all above the 2.5% general inflation. So the real impact to you, the consumer, is a whole hell of a lot more than 2.5%. So you shouldn't feel ashamed if you're like, fuck, man, this is taking a bite out of my ass right now. I'm hurting financially. It's because real inflation to you, the person, the human, is higher than 2.5%.
It's a lot higher. And wages, so from that jobs report that came out, in that jobs report, they also track wage growth.
Yeah.
Okay. And that came in at 3.8%. Okay. So 3.8%, obviously higher than 2.5%. Okay, but unfortunately, that 3.8% is on a downward trend.
Yeah, and imagine if you're on the other spectrum on each coin. Let's say your wage growth wasn't. That's average, right? Some people got below that.
Some people got none of that.
Yeah, some people got none of that. And let's just say you're in the higher end of the actual inflation impact. You have auto insurance. You're paying 16.5% more.
Yeah, now that one you can, these expenses you can't escape. Yeah.
So the real impact is we are all making less money. Unless you got a significant pay raise by, I don't know, having a second job or adding to your income somehow, or you change jobs, you are feeling this. Not everybody's talking about it because nobody wants to be the guy I was on the last show and says, man, like, this is taking a bite out of my ass.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're all feeling it.
But everybody is feeling it.
Mm-hmm.
You know how many, this blew me away. I thought the last show we weren't prepared. I really did. I thought we were going into it. I'm like, damn, we're just going to go into it. So just, two homies just having a conversation.
No, but I actually knew it was going to hit because we were going to be real about it.
I got so much feedback, even today, essentially a week over, I think 3 days later.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still getting people saying, yo, that was a great episode. I learned a lot. I had a guy tell me he listened to it 3 times.
3 times?
Yeah. Which is 3 times more than Haroon's listened to it.
Somehow it's 4 times more than Haroon listened to it. Somehow. I don't know. I don't know how he did it.
Come on, I'm at 2 at least.
How so?
I listen to it when I'm here, and then I have to go home and I have to edit it, so that's 2.
Bro, you're skipping around, dog. Get out of here.
I don't,
Fuck out of here, dog.
This is probably a good time. If you guys have watched the show on Spotify now and on YouTube, and there's an issue we got to address here. There's an elephant in the room, and not just Haroon. You know that Haroon's cuts have been a little loose.
No,
as of late.
He's just keeping it on you. No, there was one on the last episode where he literally made sure to cut to me because I made a weird face at you.
Yeah.
I was like, the fuck are you saying?
But I discovered that I have been fucking up on the video, and I just got to be honest about something.
I haven't noticed.
I don't know how to handle it yet. Okay,
I haven't noticed.
All right, so you clearly haven't been watching the videos on Spotify.
No, I haven't. I watch it on YouTube.
Watch on YouTube. YouTube, fine. Apple, everywhere, great. The Spotify video provided a problem that I did not think through until today while I was driving through Texas and somebody else listened to the podcast while I was in the car, which is very awkward, by the way.
Was the intro, outro?
No, the intro, outro music is good. I've figured that out. Like, that's good. It's the sound effects that I place in the show whenever we're sliding visuals in.
Okay. The glitch?
The glitch sound, the whoosh, stuff like that. You can hear that on the audio streaming because it rips the audio from the video component that's loaded to Spotify.
Okay.
So if you're listening it in your car and you're driving, you hear those. So
I mean, it's not that big of a deal.
It's not that big of a deal, but it's a difference. And I want to provide a good experience for everybody's ear holes. I want your ear holes to be satisfied.
Emphasis on ear holes?
Yeah.
Or emphasis on holes?
On the ear holes.
I got it. Okay.
And I got to tell you, I didn't feel like that was up to the highest standard.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good thing we're not the highest standard.
We're
the higher standard.
Haroon, did you notice when you watched it on Spot? Oh, never mind. Sorry, stupid question.
He's been doing good, man. Come on.
He's been doing great.
Leave him alone.
Hate.
Yeah, hate. You sipping on the haterade.
You saying hate back there?
Yeah.
Yep.
I fully support you. No, I
don't like Dallas Chris.
What?
You're coming in super sassy tonight.
I'm not coming in sassy. Look,
Thursday night Chris sucks.
Yeah, Thursday night Chris sucks.
First of all, I came in. I noticed that he was wearing an Apple Watch.
Smackdown Chris.
He's wearing an Apple Watch Ultra, so he upgraded.
That was a curveball. Like you can't just walk into the studio with the Ultra and not let everybody know.
And we're just gonna not talk about the fact that I'm not allowed to see your workout activity. Like, what's up with that?
No,
bro?
I literally told you I am not working out yet.
Wait, but are you guys?
I literally said that to you.
Are you guys not friends? He's friends with me.
I know he's friends with you.
Wait, hold on. He's not friends with you on the watch?
I don't think so.
I am, bro.
Yes, he is, bro. Get the fuck out of here.
I see you working out.
That's a lie.
You see me working out. I don't see you working out.
Because I don't. Like, how many times do I have to say it?
Well, I just want, for the record, I would like to point out that my first inclination when I saw you was that you looked like you were a little more slender than you had been just a week ago.
Thank you very much.
I've noticed it too, man.
Thank you.
1 week of not eating pizza every day, it really does have a benefit.
And soda.
Did you have pizza today, by the way?
I did.
Oh, never mind.
I've been on my grind too, man. Waking up 5 o'clock in the morning, getting it in.
Have you really?
This whole week, yeah, and last week.
Oh, good for you. It's peaceful at 5 o'clock in the morning, right?
You know what's and I know this, and you always hear people say it. The best part about it is it never gets interrupted.
Never.
Yeah, like you are guaranteed to finish the workout.
Yeah. At 5 o'clock this morning, your time, I was in a cold plunge in Dallas, and I was the only one in there without a bathing suit on.
What were you wearing?
You were naked?
Yeah.
The cold plunge is small. It wasn't like I was naked though.
What?
It was like it was in the men's locker room.
You went in there naked, bro?
Yeah. First of all, I didn't bring a bathing suit with me. So what was I gonna wear? Underwear? It's next to the steam room. And when I got in there wasn't anybody in the room, and it's in a separate room with a hot tub. I didn't expect the dudes to be walking in on a Thursday morning.
This is why I won't
to go into a hot tub.
This is why I won't come to your house. You ask me, why don't you come over for the cold plunge, bro? This is why.
Dude, I got chemicals to clean that
You're
shit.
just gonna be slanging it around?
No, man. First of all, mine doesn't slang. Okay, I don't know how big yours is.
I be slanging.
Mine like pokes. There's no
Especially in a cold plunge.
Yeah, dude. Let me tell you right now. If yours doesn't go inside itself and go run for help, it's gonna hurt.
You deserve an award.
You
This
don't
is
want
why we'll
bone
never
chilling
be
cold.
sponsored.
What are you talking about? We'll be sponsored.
we
by
got
somebody.
you got to definitely get sponsored.
Yeah. Ice Barrel's gonna hook us up, bro.
Yeah, as they should.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, this episode is brought to you by transcendcompany.com/THSB.
Go to transcendcompany.com. I can't even say it. Fuck it.
Say
I'm so
it.
tired. Tired is getting me now.
Yeah.
Go to transcendcompany.com. Fuck.
Support the show. Head over there. Whether you're watching
Yeah.
this, and then if you're listening to this on Apple or Spotify, leave us an honest 5-star review. We'll read it at the end of the show if you guys do. And if you're watching us on YouTube, subscribe, ring that notification bell, hit that like button. Let's get this video out to as many people as possible.
I've been showing people a lot of the injections that I've been taking lately. NAD for mental clarity, SS31, nootropic, mental clarity, energy, stuff like that. So
Maybe you start pimping out the Symbiotica stuff.
yeah, I would do that without a sponsorship though. I love Shahab and Duran on them. They're cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, I take that. I did it last night. Actually, showed everybody what I was taking from them. I take Golden Mind. I take the vitamin C, and I take the magnesium L-theanate. I think
They're big time, right?
Yeah, they're fantastic. They're just the ease of use of like their supplements, and they're just the overall health products. Just amazing.
Yeah.
Little pouch, suck on it, good to go. You leave that alone.
Let's
You're
go.
gonna be a bigger man. Okay.
I'm gonna let that float in the room for a little
Let's
bit.
go to the next article real quick while Saied thinks a witty joke for sucking on a bag.
No, I'm just gonna let it float.
By the way, I've got some pop culture stuff for you guys. I became a hypocrite after the last show. I did something I wasn't supposed to do. So between the sports stuff and this, you guys are gonna take a lot of shots. It's fine. I get it.
I had so many people tell me like what the hell is wrong with Chris with his sports take?
I'm about to change your perspective on that too. All right. Housing costs keep inflation over 2%. No shocker there. We've said on the show for years that this was a problem. Shelter inflation includes rent prices and what renting on own property would cost renters' own equivalent. Fun fact, not in this article, we are the only country that still uses owner's rent equivalent.
What do the other countries use?
Other countries do not use a owner's rent equivalent. They use a couple different variants, but the data is flawed because it's so laggy. It doesn't really accurately reflect what house pricing is and versus rent pricing is. It's just bad data.
It's very bad data. I mean, like you said, it's lagging because it takes about 6 months for them to report it, and then they only operate off executed leases.
Yeah, it's trash.
Yeah.
Nobody wants data like that. So this is from Yahoo Finance. The latest consumer price index, CPI, which we were talking about earlier, report released on Wednesday showed that housing inflation still isn't easing. So keep in mind, we said you're never getting to 2% unless this eases. And if it's not easing, there's other things like jobs that are starting to deteriorate, which is forcing the hand of the FOMC. That being said, according to data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the BS Bureau, shelter costs, the biggest contributor to overall inflation, ticked up 0.5% month over month in August, higher than July's 0.4% increase. On an annual basis, shelter costs rose 5.2% in August, up from July's year-over-year gain of 5.1%. So this is going the wrong way. Economists have been expecting a slowdown in rent increase that has been reflected in separate data to show up in the CPI for over a year. Typically speaking, for those of you listening, it usually lags about 6 months. So the fact that it hasn't showed up is, well, strange.
Yeah.
So An influx of new apartment supply has helped bring rents down from highs seen in 2022. And we covered that on previous shows. This, a direct quote, the housing component of the inflation report was the only real standout surprise as it came in stronger than expected. Jack McIntyre, portfolio manager at Brandywine Global Investment Management, wrote in a note after the CPI's release.
So let me ask you a question. If let's just say rates even come down just a little bit more, okay? By the end of 2025, let's just say.
You don't want to ignite this, man. You
don't-
don't want to do that.
Well, do you think there could be a happy medium to where with the rates coming down to the right levels and a little bit more inventory coming online, more people will be willing to sell their homes and maybe values do come down?
I don't think that'll be the motivation for it. First of all, nobody has a real answer to this. Okay, nobody knows for sure.
Nobody knows exactly. Yeah,
I think the debt load that Americans have, combined with the inflation impact and the lack of wages keeping up with it, will force even people with fantastic mortgages to try to tap into that. And it's going to start off by trying to tap into that massive amount of equity that most Americans have right now because their home prices have appreciated dramatically. And then what's going to happen is they're going to go, okay, I've consolidated all this debt, but now I've got a bigger mortgage payment. And they're going to say, well, okay, can I afford all this? I think it's going to be a much more prolonged correction than anybody wants from a housing prices perspective. And that's scary because, look, if we all have to accept the fact that we're going to have to live with this for a prolonged period of time, well, that means that there isn't going to be an opportune moment to buy a piece of real estate in the next 5 years.
Right.
It's going to be, you're going to have to do the best you can in the environment that you got. Now, again, I will say a 6% rate, like you're seeing today, maybe even 6.25%, 6.5%, that is still historically, comparatively speaking, a fantastic rate.
It is still, but when the boomers start talking about that, right, they're discounting the fact that homes are now costing way more on a ratio of income ratio.
Homes
right?
in my neighborhood that used to go, homes that I don't live in, just for the record, they used to go for $2.6 million, or now $3.5 million.
Oh yeah. So that ratio used to be somewhere like that the home, I think in the 70s, right, was 2 to 3 times the income.
Yeah.
Right. Now you're looking at 6 times the income.
Yeah, it's wild.
Right. So like, okay, rates may be, on average or below average historically, but you can't argue that point.
No,
but
you can't.
To your point about debt levels for households reaching, all-time highs, I remember seeing this headline and I wanted to look it up. It was from CNBC. Mortgage refinancing surges 35% in 1 week as interest rates, hits. This was back when it hit 6.5%.
Yeah.
So I can't imagine what it is now when I know rates are at 6.1%.
I don't think you're going to see the same surge.
People are going to be tapping in, which I'm surprised though, like refinancing, right? I'm like, would you just take out like a HELOC to pay down some of your debt?
Well, a lot of lenders won't go behind somebody else's first trust deed. So if you've got a regular home loan from Chase or Wells or whatever it might be, then most people will tell you to go back to Chase or Wells to get a loan for your second trust deed for your home equity line of credit. Now, non-banks will probably be a little more aggressive and be willing to do that, especially with so much equity in properties. But it's getting harder and harder. The old saying goes that whenever you need a loan, you can't get one. And whenever you don't need one, you can get one. It's kind of true. For most people, they wait to get a home equity line of credit until they absolutely need it. And I've always been of the mindset, if you have a home and you have equity, you should always have a home equity line of credit.
Because it sits there, right, for a 10-year draw period.
Yeah. Which
Right,
I gotta check on mine, by the way. Now that I think about
To renew it. Yeah.
it. Yeah, it might be coming up soon. I don't know what the hell's gonna happen with that.
Yeah, that's typically how it works, right? There's a 10-year draw period with a 20-year repayment plan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, whatever.
Yeah, I remember back in the day when I was working at Wells Fargo on the teller line, the bankers, the mortgage bankers in the back would always tell us, like, if you pull up somebody's account and they have a mortgage, make sure you send it this way, because the thing that they would always try to slang to them is you need a home equity line of credit in case of an emergency.
Oh, it's true. It's true. Now, it also happens to pay them a commission.
Yeah,
But-
exactly, yeah.
But I think everybody should have one in the event of emergency, unless you're a retirement age and you're starting to think about, your golden years.
Right.
But for most people listening to the show, that ain't you.
Right.
So not for you to worry about.
Exactly.
Should we talk about fresh data out on Thursday, the day after all this inflation data came out?
100%.
Well, fresh jobs data came out, and it tests how deeply the Fed will cut rates ahead of the government payroll report. Now, Saied touched on a little bit of this.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to touch on a little deeper. We're going to peg into this data deep. Okay? Real deep.
You know how to tickle my fancy?
Yes.
Gets the people going.
Fresh data out Thursday is raising the question of whether the job market is weakening further. And that could cause the Federal Reserve to cut rates by more than a quarter percentage point when officials meet in less than 2 weeks. Actually, about a week from today.
Doubt it.
Probably not wrong.
Yeah.
I think 25 basis points is the number. ADP's National Employment Report for August showed 99,000 jobs were added in the month, well below economists' estimates of 145,000, and fewer than the 122,000 jobs added in July. The August data marked the fifth straight month payroll additions had slowed from the month prior. The release was the fewest jobs added from the private sector in a month since January of 2021. Meanwhile, weekly jobless claims clocked in at 227,000 for the week ending August 31st, compared with expectations for 230,000, a level inconsistent with recession.
Mm-hmm.
So what they're really trying to say to you is, yeah, the jobs report doesn't really add up. Okay. The numbers do appear to be softening. And without the fear of a recession looming, that could be enough of at least a data perspective focus to potentially push the FOMC to be willing to consider cutting maybe 50 basis points. Now, I still think that is a wildly, risky proposition and unlikely to occur.
Right. I think the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, as of today or yesterday, had it at a 15% chance for a 50 basis point cut.
Okay.
But I think data like this is the reason why the market definitely expects another rate cut in November and another rate cut in December. So instead of giving you the full 50 now, bake in the 25, 25, 25 for the rest of the year. This next meeting in 2 weeks, what's so important about it is their summary of economic projections also comes out, so they could revise what they said. Remember on the last one, they only envisioned one rate cut for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
They're going to let us know what they see moving forward.
I don't see one happening. I see two happening.
I see, at least two happening. Now, in addition to this, the JOLTS data came out, and I know we don't like the JOLTS. We don't like job opening labor turnover survey.
The world's shittiest report.
But also giving data out to explain how weak the labor market is right now. Okay? Openings are at their lowest level since January of 2021. Okay? Factor that in with what we've been routinely saying on the show with all the ghost openings that are on there. It's way worse. It's way worse than what's currently being presented, right? And in that report, layoffs rose to 1.76 million. That's the highest level since March of 2023.
And I do expect layoffs to continue to increase. The tech sector in the last couple of weeks has been somewhat volatile. NVIDIA stock, great example of that.
Oh, man, if this takes a turn and their earnings start to take a hit, they're going to go right back to all those layoffs again that they had.
I think you're going to see that either way. I think the market is going to see corrections, and that'll be a very visible and palpable thing in the headlines.
I know some people that work at some of these companies, and big tech, right? And the Magnificent Seven. I miss when it was FANG.
Yeah, I do. Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, and Google.
Yeah, we were both hoping for Mang.
Mang.
Yeah. Those layoffs that they had, they went right back and they hired some of those people right back.
Yeah.
Once all that got turned back around, and they've already proven the fact that they'll do it again.
Yeah.
So
it's not personal. It's just business.
It's just business.
It's like what I'm gonna do to you later tonight. It's not personal, brother. It's just business.
Sorry to even get there.
Okay. Haroon, is there another article? We have another one, or is that it? You tapped out?
That's
Nope,
it.
That's it.
Oh, pop culture. You ready?
I can't believe you're just openly like stealing his segment. Like
No. Haroon's gonna love this.
Did you run this by him?
No, but I know Haroon's gonna love it.
Okay.
Okay. This is gonna bring you both into a very intellectually stimulating debate.
Oh, we talking about debates?
Yeah. Haroon, I need you to opine and be the voice of reason. Can you do that for me?
I I will try.
All right. This is a sports-related conversation. However, Dave Mitsucci and I were driving. Okay.
You're just dropping his name on the show like this.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I know.
Shout out to David.
It's important. He's an avid listener to the show. His wife listens to the show now.
Oh.
Yeah. A lot of people that we have in our circle of trust that listen to the show. And a few of them have a bone to pick with you.
With me?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
So we were sitting down at Fridays, and we were both having sesame chicken strips.
Wait, you went from Fridays to Nobu. What are we doing?
No, we went from Nobu to Fridays.
What
Yeah,
are we
went
doing
way
here?
back.
What are we doing here?
And he said, "Hey, Chris, I wanted you to bring up something about LeBron James, which might be somewhat inflammatory for Saied." And I said, "Okay, what's that?" And he said, "Look, I agree with you that he isn't doing GOAT things." Haroon laughed.
He's not doing GOAT things. Okay.
So he had an example, which I think is a powerful example that I would like you to have a rebuttal to.
Okay, so that means you're giving me room to attack the other GOAT if he's not doing GOAT things.
I open-heartedly, fully and openly hope you do.
Okay, let's go.
But I don't think it'll be necessary to attack Michael Jordan in this instance.
I mean,
okay?
there's only one other person up for debate.
Hear me out,
All
okay?
right.
He said that, and I'm paraphrasing, so he'll probably get upset that I don't quote him directly here, but if LeBron James is as impactful as you say he is to GDP, and I think that's true, he impacts GDP wherever he goes. And if LeBron James is, in fact, the greatest player of all time,
Okay.
shouldn't he be doing the greatest player of all time, like Tom Brady-like things, where he's willing to sacrifice his personal salary to build a team around him and continue to build the franchise?
I would be happy to answer this question. Thank you, sir.
Mm-hmm.
This is very easy. So somebody like LeBron, if he does take a pay cut like that, you know what happens to every other player in the league? He gets used as an example. If LeBron's willing to do it, why don't you do it? So he has to, for the sake of the players, has to take the highest amount. Otherwise, they renegotiate the collective bargaining agreement to harm the players down the road. So as much as he would like to, because he doesn't need the money, he absolutely needs to for the sake of the other players.
Okay. That's tantamount to me saying, you know what? I know that I've got a monopoly on all this product, and I would love to lower the prices for you, the consumer. But if I do that, I'm going to force the competitors to lower their prices to be competitive with me.
You're also and I love you, David, but you're also comparing two different sports. They're not apples to apples. No other player in NBA history has ever done that. First of all, yeah, they haven't.
Wouldn't that be a good thing for him to take the step and do?
No, because players across the association would take major issue with it.
No.
Wait,
Yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I'm gonna unfortunately side with Chris on this one. As an
My
example,
guy!
As an example, I'm not saying that I agree with Chris.
Okay.
You just did. You kind of did.
Right
now.
No, Tim Duncan.
Yes,
Tony
he did.
Parker, Manu
Great example.
Ginobili.
Those-
Tim Duncan, arguably the best power
No.
forward of all time.
That's what's different about that is he took a pay cut to keep the core group together. There's no core group.
But
They're
if
not.
you-
It's not apples to apples.
But here's the thing. Okay. I would argue everybody in the NFL wanted to play with Tom Brady at some point in time as the quarterback because he created this culture
Yeah.
around him.
Yeah, sure.
And
Well,
he,
I think it's him and it's Bill Belichick. It's
And
the
you
you're
could
taking
also-
away you're taking away from Bill Belichick.
I'm using his words here, but he also came back and won how many more championships when he came back and sacrificed his salary to do so to build a team around Tom Brady?
I
2,
don't
3,
know. I'm not an NFL
3,
guy.
3.
I think he's won a total of 6 or 7. Odo?
Yeah,
I think he's won 7.
I want to say he came back and won 3 afterward because he
Yeah.
was willing to build a team around him.
But you're comparing two different sports that they're not. It's not apples to apples.
I'm not comparing the sport. I'm comparing the mindset.
No. It's not.
What
look,
is LeBron doing to bring up? Your son is getting an opportunity to play.
First of all, I personally, as much as LeBron's going out there to win championships, I think it's very much understood that another championship won't even add to his legacy anymore. His legacy is already solidified. It is what it is.
Then his legacy should be the sacrifices he's willing to make to put players around him in a better place.
No, but you don't understand. It's not. You're just
So
thinking.
you're going to look out for the collective bargaining agreement
hold on, let
for
me finish.
the players that are so far well financially
No.
incentivized?
That's the problem. You're only thinking about the franchise players across the league. the players that aren't on max deals will also get taken advantage of.
Incrementally.
No, to them, it's everything. Their careers aren't 20 years long like LeBron's. Some guys don't make it past. They intentionally keep players from signing up past their 10th year so that they don't get the benefits.
Oh,
They
sure.
don't get their pension, right? So they need to make the most that they can while they can. And look, it's not up to LeBron to. It's not. First of all, can I ask you a question?
Go ahead, Haroon.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Is it LeBron's job to put a championship team around him? Is that his job? Or is his job to go out there and make the most? It's the GM's job to figure out what players to put around all these guys.
Don't you think the GM's job would be
and
easier?
actually I have one even better for you.
Mhm.
In this offseason, Haroon can attest to this if you can recall, Haroon. During this offseason, LeBron had a player option. He said, I won't sign my player option, and I'll renegotiate my deal if you can sign XYZ 3 players. He named 4 or 5 players that were up for contracts.
He didn't want all 3-4 of them. He just said bring in one of them so that way we have a core between
Just
him.
one of them was Klay
AD.
Thompson. One of them was Klay Thompson that ended up going to Dallas, right? He was willing to take, I think it was like a $10 million pay cut, which first of all, LeBron should be the highest paid player in the association.
Okay, so I would say that Klay Thompson is not a player who needed LeBron's help.
What?
Klay Thompson doesn't need LeBron to sacrifice
He
money.
needed LeBron more than ever.
No, but that was LeBron trying to bring in a player to help LeBron. That wasn't LeBron trying to bring in other players around him.
No, Klay Thompson's career, I know you haven't been watching. Klay Thompson's career has been on the decline, major decline. He got booted out of Golden State. He
was benched actually.
He got took out of the starting lineup and was benched
Why?
because he wasn't performing as well, and they wanted to. I don't know. They didn't want to re-up him because they're really deep into the luxury tax. So in the NBA, it's the worst of all the sports. It's like when you get into the luxury tax, it's dollar for dollar.
There's wasted memory bank you got
Wasted
up here.
memory. No, it's enough to shoot it down. Sorry, David, you're wrong.
Okay.
And Christopher.
Wow, you got to deal with that.
I'll deal with David myself. And unfortunately, you didn't know enough about the subject matter.
I'm just telling you what he said. So I have to admit something that we can get off my chest. So I was on the plane, and I was flying to Dallas, and I wanted to watch a movie. It's not uncommon for me to watch a movie, put it in a little small box in the corner while I'm working on emails.
Oh, okay.
And there weren't a lot of good options for me to watch.
You go to a classic?
That's
Watch a remake.
I was thinking about one of the two of those, and then the new Bad Boys was there.
No, you did not.
And I said, you know what? Let me see.
Like the newest one or like
Yeah,
number
the
3?
newest one, because
Okay.
there was one in between. Apparently, Will Smith had a kid. at some
Mike
point.
Lowry?
Mike Lowry had a kid.
I don't remember this.
Yeah.
So I didn't see that
I'm
one.
assuming this was in number 3
Yeah.
because I watched 4. I don't know. I haven't
Yeah.
seen either one.
Okay.
And somehow Vanessa Hudgens is in number 4. Like I'm like, what?
She's still around, huh?
I guess I don't know. I was stunned.
Good for her. All right.
I'm assuming she had a role in 3 because she seemed very colloquially represented in 4.
Okay.
It was just as bad as I expected.
And you sat through the whole thing, huh? You couldn't let
just-
it go.
How bad was Martin Lawrence? He was bad in number 3.
Is he taking sodium pills?
He's so puffy,
He's
right?
so puffy. He does like this like eye thing and like, and then he tried to go through like this experience where he felt like he was invincible, so he tried to play the Mike Lowry character this time. It was very bewildering.
Oh man.
And he doesn't look athletic in any way, shape, or form. And now he's playing a guy who had like a heart attack.
I mean, yeah, it's fitting.
And I'm like, bruh. I mean, this is not a good, even playing the role. Do what Dave Bautista did. Slim down.
He's so slim, man.
Yeah, but dude, he's my height and he's 10 pounds heavier than me. He ain't that small.
Well, who's carrying a lot more muscle than you, man?
Yeah, but you know what? People are making fun of the guy.
Making fun of him what?
People saying he looks like a girl now.
How does he look like?
Here's is fucked up. So he wore a black Gucci suit with pearls to the premiere of the movie, like pearl necklaces. Pearl necklaces are in now. If you got a hip stylist, right?
I respect it.
I thought he looked kind of fly, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
He wore this. It was like a Gucci monogram suit.
He looks healthy.
He looks healthy. He's got a gray beard, right? And he's got these, sunglasses on. He said As he got older, like he gained weight for a role. They got up to 315. It was really hard for him to lose weight. He's very particular about what he eats. He doesn't need to be that big anymore. He wants to be considered for more serious roles.
all
He doesn't want to be
vegan now or something?
typecasted. I heard him say that in one interview. I didn't hear another interview. I don't know.
Mm.
What I'll say is like he clearly tried to lose weight. People are like, he looks like a girl. He's turning gay. Like that's the suit. I thought he looked fly as hell in that suit,
Yeah,
bro.
no. It looks like he's gotten some work done though, like on the face.
No, I think he just lost weight.
That's that Ozempic look.
I think
face. He's got Ozempic face.
I think he just lost weight, dude. Like not everybody's on Ozempic. Well, I am, but not everybody is.
That's a fly suit, man. Leave him alone.
Yeah, dude. He had another fly. He had a gray one too, with like a red and blue pinstripe. He was wearing nothing but Gucci suits.
Yeah, flexing.
This guy's
It's late in the show. Flexing
different.
on these hoes.
He's different. Ho drop. Mark that down.
Yeah.
1 hour 4 minutes 29 seconds.
Oh, dude, I actually have I got a question for you
There
because
you go.
I damn, he looks slim.
I think he looks good.
Odun, I consider him a big movie buff.
Alright.
If you were to pick a movie, an old school movie to watch, the one that you've seen a couple times, and you're stuck on the plane, what would it be? What would be your go-to?
Goonies.
No, what are the Goonies again?
Aw, Goonies. That is a classic. Braveheart.
The fuck out of here. I never even watched the whole movie.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah, even Saeed's like he's holding it back right now. Go ahead.
Damn,
Fire.
man,
Let's
no.
go. Come on. You can
This
attack
guy
him
is
for that.
The fucking love story.
Mel
What?
Gibson.
What are you
If you're
doing?
gonna pick a Mel Gibson movie, pick fucking Lethal Weapon like a normal stand-up human being.
Yeah, bro.
Fucking Braveheart.
Yeah. Well, you might as well. What was the other movie where you could read women's minds, what women want? Something. You should have picked that one.
That's pretty much Braveheart without the kilts. that's what that is.
Oh man, Mel Gibson. Isn't he canceled?
He is canceled because he was Jesus, and then he was racist,
Yeah.
and then he was Jesus again. It was very confusing.
God
I
damn it,
haven't
Odin.
really-
Fucking, I give you the lob and you
Yeah, I
fucking.
didn't take it. What would you watch, Saeed?
I don't know. I really don't know what I would.
You wouldn't watch Braveheart?
It would definitely be a comedy,
Isn't Braveheart like 3 fucking hours?
huh? It's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I've never seen the whole thing.
I'd probably, if I watched Braveheart, I'd just be judging everyone's accent the whole time. Like, oh, they could have found someone better than that. That was terrible.
Yeah, probably accurate. Yeah.
It'd probably be an Eddie Murphy movie or something.
Fifth Element.
Fifth Element.
Ooh, that's a
Love The
good
Fifth
one.
Element.
Chris Rock.
Yeah. Chris Rock playing the
No, it's not
Oddest-
Chris Rock. It's,
No, it's, Chris Tucker. You son
Yeah.
of a bitch. I followed his Chris Rock lead on that.
Yikes.
Chris Tucker got fat.
I mean, what do you expect from? What do you want from him? You want him to be fit forever?
I want to be Dave Bautista. Yeah.
He's not Dave Bautista, bro.
Even in Burroughs in a black
Dave-
Gucci suit.
Dave Bautista's an athlete.
Chris Tucker should have been an athlete.
Not really though.
Jackie Chan got old. There's that whole beef with his daughter where his daughter ain't talking to him.
No, is that a real thing? I didn't know
Yeah,
about this.
That's a real thing.
I saw some social media posts back in the day where he was watching his daughter perform something.
Apparently, like he's like a really just type of hyper aggressive dad. He's a weird dude. This is the same guy who used paper towels in the house and is notorious for wringing them out and letting them dry on the countertop so he can use them again. He's a weird dude.
What?
Yeah, Jackie Chan's a weird dude, man.
I loved his movies. I know that around that time a lot of people also got into Jet Li, but
Jet Li was badass,
but
dude.
Yeah.
for me, I was a Jackie Chan guy all the way.
Because you another guy with a chubby face being able to move like that.
100%. Bro.
So
Are
you felt you
kidding
saw
me?
yourself in him.
Bro, Rumble in the Bronx.
Never saw it.
Do yourself a favor.
No, can't do
Well,
it.
he does all his own stunts.
I remember Boondock
Thank you.
Saints.
Thank you for that clarification.
Boondock Saints.
Boondock Saints is a good one.
Yep.
That's really pretty aggressive though.
What's with the hate of the Goonies, Arun? You didn't
Oh,
know they're
no.
doing a remake after 40 years
That's
now, right?
That's why.
Yeah.
I love the Goonies. Goonies is classic, dude. But
I mean,
just
you would be
they're
Chunk,
making a
right?
Remake. No, it'd be the hey you guys.
Honestly, if I had to pick, I'd probably pick Space Jam 2.
Why do you like that movie
I
so much? That is
do.
such a
Just
strange.
take it
Jesus
to jazz. It's
kids.
the better one of the two, bro. It's the
Dude.
better. It's the better one of the two.
I'm pretty sure I never saw Space Jam 1.
Oh, couldn't afford it.
Oh, damn.
Oh, he went there.
Damn.
I'm sorry, Arun.
That's so low,
I don't
bro.
have
That's
my
so low.
in-laws that I secretly, openly hate. I don't really know.
No, he
You
doesn't.
can watch my kids.
Jesus Christ,
Hate?
bro. Hate is
Damn,
damn, bro. That's
I said you secretly, openly hate them. I don't know what you want from me. I mean, you're playing around for the show. It's a funny, ongoing joke.
oh man. Oh yeah.
By the way, I almost made a clip of you talking trash on your own family, but I backed off the wedding.
Oh,
Yeah, sister-in-law's wedding.
a little real.
Yeah.
Oh.
I backed off. I was like, you know what? If I push this out and then he can't produce the show anymore, I'm hurting me.
I feel like that's true. Are we even going to touch the debate?
I didn't watch it. I refused.
Why?
Not doing it.
It was good.
Nah.
It was so good.
Why? Did you watch it?
I did.
Why?
It was good. It was
It was
good.
not good.
No, it was really good.
Okay. I don't believe that both of them didn't have earpieces in.
Yeah. Oh, so you read all the articles afterwards?
No, I didn't read any articles after. I want nothing. No, I didn't. I was in the gym and I thought everybody was looking at me. They were looking at the TV above my head.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I'm jacked, bro. Look how
So
she was looking at
funny.
me.
It was funny. This is what got me going. Okay.
Kamala Harris got you going?
It's
That's
pretty
nasty. Boy,
hilarious.
you nasty.
She knew what would strike a chord, and she went for it. She goes, I encourage you to go to his rallies. People are leaving halfway through. And he got so enraged, bro. It was comical. And then
Just wear a bulletproof vest.
at that point, it's true. And then at that point, it was just off the rails. And then he was just falling for every bait. It was bad.
Well, he said
I'm not saying that she was great either, but I'm saying that it was funny how he went off hinge.
I was driving. I was in the car today,
Unhinged.
and I got the text news alert saying that he's not going to debate her again.
Yeah, yeah. And then he's a master at spinning it too. He's like, yeah, it's because I won. Because when you lose, you always ask. You get up and you're like, I want a rematch.
Didn't he have multiple debates with Biden?
Obviously, yeah, you should.
Didn't he say that he won all those too?
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, he
so
probably
what?
did. Those he probably did. I mean, come on.
I don't ever want to be in a debate like that situation where I'm on a stage having to like provide rebuttals.
You know what he was missing? To be honest with you,
Hair.
no, he was missing an audience because he feeds off an audience. So he just needed to know that he was getting like
Wasn't
people.
there an audience?
No, there's no audience.
Wait, the debate had no audience?
No audience.
So it was just like two
Them
moderators
two,
and
two moderators and them two.
so how do they get feedback if they say something like somebody in the audience is going like burn, burn,
Ooh.
like their own camp was
Bro,
there? Like what?
That's why those moderators need to get paid. Like they did because if somebody gets burned and you show no reaction, I mean that's props. Can you imagine if we were moderators?
Oh, I'd be the worst.
We'd be the best.
Oh shit!
You gonna let him talk to you like that?
He said your dick's small. He said many men wish death on me.
Time's up. Time's up. Time's up. But do you want a rebuttal?
yeah, exactly. He's always can I get more time? I need to respond to that.
Mr. Trump, can we see your ear, please?
Yeah. We need to see. We need to examine it. Show us exactly. Yeah.
It would have been funny to me if he actually came out with a piece of his ear missing. Did they show his ear at all, or is he still wearing the thing?
I didn't see it. No. I don't know. I think he wasn't wearing anything.
So was there like a piece
Yeah.
missing?
No. I didn't notice. I wasn't looking for it. Maybe. I got to go back and check.
Just feel like there's a piece of the puzzle missing here, bro.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah. Odin, you got anything for pop culture?
Nope.
See, I had his back.
You came unprepared?
No, I have some stuff. It's 1:15, dude. I have to get this done tonight. Tomorrow I
You
have
don't
date
do this
night
on-
with the wife.
Oh wow, really?
You got dinner plans with the wife tomorrow too?
No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
No, I
then
don't.
you want to edit it?
Dude, I can't afford. I don't have babysitters that he does.
I can't afford.
We covered that on the last show, bro. I'm losing money left and right. I
Dude,
can't
he's
afford a
got
babysitter.
My
baby- he's got-
sister is my
it's
babysitter
yeah.
tomorrow.
Yes.
What?
How was babysitting?
Wow, you taking advantage of all your family, huh? First your in-laws up north, now your sister down here. Do you watch your kids at all?
No, not really.
It's like, all right, kids, wake up. You got to go to someone else's house. Let's go. Let's get you out of here.
No. How was coming over?
Damn it, man.
Perks of living 3 minutes away.
Yeah. Hey, we encourage you to move. Move
So
over.
what are you going to do while
Well,
your wife's watching his
I got,
kids?
He has kids
I
himself.
got to watch my own kids.
Well, your kids are pretty much in college.
Feels like it.
What you talking about, Willis?
Feels like it. Adam's got training tomorrow. Ari's got to practice tomorrow.
I babysat his kids last weekend.
Where'd you go last weekend?
Adam's training.
Where'd you go last weekend?
Dinner. The wife.
Bro, what the fuck is this? You
Oh,
don't-
I'm not allowed to have an anniversary dinner now? What the
No.
fuck?
No.
Yeah, come on.
An anniversary dinner?
Oh, that's
Where'd you go for your anniversary dinner?
unacceptable. Eddie V's.
The steakhouse?
I mean, they
No,
have
bro, the
steak. They have
sushi
steak.
place.
No,
They
it's-
have a seafood house, you asshole.
no, it's they have seafood and steak there. Yeah, that one, the one in Newport.
Okay, that's why I asked. Arun.
Yeah. It's okay. I like that. So
I'm sorry, Arun. I'm not up to date with
the
the hip, cool restaurants
first
like you
one-
because I'm not going out to dinner every 20 minutes.
the first every 20 minutes is wild.
Fucking guy.
That's such a wild.
Is that what you get to watch? You can log your meals? Pudgy bastard.
The San Diego location, I like the vibe. It's a completely different vibe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the one in San Diego is pretty.
Yeah, I like it. It's good. It's
Yeah.
really good.
Did you go to San Diego to have dinner?
No. This one was Newport.
Okay.
This was our second time. The first time we went to San Diego.
I had plans to go to dinner date with Joanna last Saturday and see a movie, but our babysitter canceled, so we haven't done that in quite some time.
You had
You
friends.
have to have a backup. You have to have back, or you move to where we are, and hey, I'm right there.
Hey, we tried. We found that.
I can't
house
have you
for
guys
him.
corrupting my kids with the shit that you guys do for your kids.
Why? Hey,
Your dad doesn't coach your team, son?
it develops
Yeah.
character.
Yeah, I'm not.
Wait.
I'm not
Well,
like
I
you.
don't see
Your
my
dad-
kids, so
Your dad
Yeah.
doesn't get on the mat
Bro,
with you.
you can't. You're the only dad I know who babysits his own kids. Okay.
Babies. I said that once. I said that once to Helen at the office.
What, I'm
She
gonna
goes-
babysit?
She goes, "What do you do this week?" I was like, "I'm babysitting." She's like, "Who are you babysitting?" My kids. She's like, "You're watching your kids. That's not babysitting."
It's true. It's like you're not babysitting.
I know. I was joking.
Yeah, I know you weren't. You were dead ass
I'm
serious.
dead ass serious. Yeah. So, anyways, yeah, a lot of training tomorrow.
Ask your wife to Venmo you for babysitting when she's back home.
Charger, request to pay.
Just don't try to watch porn in Texas. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
That guy was so hot.
I can't believe that
And
guy.
I gotta be honest with you. When I saw him in the gym the next morning, I was like, I'm not using any of the equipment that guy's using.
You didn't allow him to watch anything you downloaded on your phone.
On my phone?
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing I downloaded is I downloaded Street Fighter, the movie with Jean-Claude Van Damme. God damn, it was so bad.
Oh,
so bad.
So good though.
No, it was so. First of all, it's Street Fighter, but none of them did any of the Street Fighter moves. Like no fireballs.
Oh, that might be another
know?
movie. Maybe I would watch Bloodsport.
Bloodsport, fantastic movie.
Yeah.
Like that kind of like hazy vibe to the cinema.
Yeah.
So beautiful. Yeah, I like it.
Mm-hmm.
But Jean-Claude Van Damme's entire career was such bullshit. Steven Seagal's even worse. And the fact those two had a rivalry about their bullshit ass careers,
God, Jean-Claude Van Damme was so jacked. He was on all the juice.
he's still jacked.
He was on
You
all
ever,
the juice.
you ever see that video where he's like yelling at his assistant?
No.
So he was going through this period where like nobody would hire him and he was very depressed about, not being able to get work and that he kind of fallen off. There's a video where he like yells at his assistant in his kitchen and he gets like visceral and he's like, this is fucking, he just goes off on her, right? And you can just tell like he's just yelling at her and she's just like, ugh. And it seems completely asinine that he's mad. It was something like completely innocuous. And he walks out, like storms out, like upset. And then you're like, fuck this guy. What a piece of shit, right? And then
Who's recording this?
somebody was recording it. And then he comes back in, like literally like a minute later, and he's crying and he hugs her and apologizes. And you're like, fuck, this guy's going through it. Like you could tell he was really going through like an emotional.
Going through something.
He later on talked about it like openly. Like he's like, he didn't say that incident was, but it was the time frame that he's referring to. But he was basically going through this period of time where he couldn't get work. He was considered like something like insurance wise. There was an issue insuring him. And he kind of fallen off. He was like this famous world-class action star.
Yeah, like A-list celebrity.
Yeah,
too.
and then nobody would hire him.
Yeah, that's a huge shot to the ego because it's like, I think it's gonna last forever. But
see, his movies were so corny, though. I mean, not to say that Sylvester Stallone and Arnold Schwarzenegger weren't, but they adjusted in their careers. I don't think he really adjusted. He plays that same character in every movie.
Sylvester Stallone adjusted in his career. How
Dude,
so?
He wrote those movies.
No, I know, I get it. No, but the ego aspect of it, he was still the same guy.
No, Sylvester Stallone took on more dramatic roles by far. Even in Rocky,
What's the one with all the action heroes that all the guys are in?
The Expendables.
That's like Rambo all over again.
But Sylvester Stallone wrote those roles for those guys.
I'm not saying he's not talented in writing. I'm saying okay, good for him, but like he didn't evolve.
No. The whole point was that he wrote roles for characters, friends of his, that did not evolve so that they had roles because they weren't working. He revitalized their career by making them relevant again so they could get other roles.
Was Jean-Claude Van Damme in those movies?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he won them too. So did Wesley Snipes. All those guys did. He literally brought them back into the fold. And Wesley Snipes is now, he did Blade again in the last movie.
How'd he do?
In the Deadpool. Everybody loved it. I thought, I actually liked the guy they were going to bring in for the next Blade movie. The younger guy. I can't remember his name. I can't say his name. He has like that really weird name. Marsala. Was that his name? Marsala? Mashallah.
I don't know who you're talking about.
Mashallah.
Do you know who he is, Odin?
Yeah, it's oh god.
That guy. I can't
Oh,
even
this guy.
pronounce it
Oh,
either.
yeah.
He was supposed to be the next Blade, and that was in talks for a long ass time. He did some promo like films of it.
Marshala Ali.
Yeah, fantastic actor. He's good,
Yeah, he's really good.
and he would have been a fantastic Blade. That's why in the Deadpool movie, Wesley Snipes says, "There only been one Blade. Only ever gonna be one Blade."
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
because he was referring to this.
Holy cow. Well, I haven't seen Deadpool yet, but I plan
I
on
just
seeing
ruined
it.
it for you. Don't watch it. Deadpool's good. You should watch it.
All right. Cool.
Well, Haroon, we sincerely appreciate your loyalty, your patronage, being here frequently.
We appreciate you, man. You came back fresh out of the airport.
We don't like Thursday Chris though.
Thursday Chris is a little sassy.
I was trying to bring a little bit of energy to the
Felt
show.
like maybe you didn't get enough caffeine today or something.
I did not. I tried early.
I could
man,
tell.
but-
See, I could tell when something's off.
Now, keep in mind, this is what's
Didn't wear-
I've been up.
No black crystals.
I actually have some in my bag. But yeah, no, I wanted to bring a little bit of energy because I didn't want to fall asleep because I'm tired, man.
You did it. Good for you.
Yeah, thank
All
you.
right.
Hugs and kisses.
Hugs and kisses.
All right.
Odin, you got anything else?
No sir.
Well then,
I don't
only
know.
one thing left to do. Okay, bye.
Good night, everybody.